All right, I wanted to make another video that goes over solving equations, and here I've taken this first equation. Sorry, that just disappeared on us. Here we've taken this first equation. This will pop up in 1 second. This first equation, 3y plus 4 equals 19, and I've rewritten it over here, and I have the steps up here. Undo the addition and subtraction. That's our first step, and undo multiplication and division. Now, we may not, in other equations, be able to start right there. But we have to get to a point where we can actually get to something that looks similar to this, right? I'll get to that in a minute. So I've rewritten it, and I have 3y plus 4 equals 19. Now, I want to solve for y, 1y, not 3y, not 7y, not 187y, just one of them. So I want to get this all by itself over here on the other side of the equal. And so here we go. I undo, number one, undo the plus 4 with minus 4 on both sides, and then that disappears. Plus 4 minus 4 equals 0, so that disappears. Bring the 3y right down, put the equal sign in. 19 minus 4 is 15. All right, so I have 3y equals 15. Well, my next step is to divide both sides by 3 because I'm undoing that multiplication. So when I undo that multiplication, I divide by 3 on both sides. This becomes 1y because 3 divided by 3 is 1. There's an implied 1 in front of that y. And 15 divided by 3 is 5. And that's the easy part, right? Easy two-step equations. You've been able to do this for some time now. What I want to do is look at one of the next equations here and show you that it gets to be just a little bit more difficult, and you may have to do some things first before you can actually move into that two-step equation, right? Here in number 37, if you look at it, it says 7y minus 2y plus 4 plus 3y equals negative 20. Now, I have way too many y's here. I have like terms, and I got to put them together. I want to consolidate so that I can get to a point where I can do some work, right? So I want to take my 7y and my 2y and my 3y, and I want to be able to consolidate. So 7y minus 2y is 5y, all right? And then plus 3y is 8y. And I'm going to rewrite it over here so we can do this. Our equation is 7y minus 2y plus 4 plus 3y equals negative 20. And I hope that doesn't get all discombobulated when you're watching this video, but I think we can do this. And I'm going to put these two y's together. I'm going to get 5y because 7y minus 2y is 5y plus 4 plus 3y equals negative 20. And I have another couple y terms that I need to put together. So I'm going to put 5y and 3y together. I'm going to get 8y plus 4 equals negative 20. Now I've gotten myself to where I can solve a two-step equation. I have 8y plus 4 equals negative 20, and now I can undo my addition, right? And so step 1 says undo the addition of 4 by subtracting 4 on both sides, and that gets rid of that. If I subtract 4 from negative 20 and negative 4 make it a bigger negative. I have negative 24 equals, and I bring my 8y straight down. Now I've got that settled. So if you didn't see me because my big fat body was in the way, I combined my 7 and negative 2y, I added my 3y to that 5y, and I got myself to a two-step equation of 8y plus 4 equals negative 20. I've subtracted 4 from both sides of this equation to keep it balanced, and now I have 8y equals negative 24. Well, 8y means that y is being multiplied by 8, so I'm going to undo that multiplication with division, and I'm going to divide both sides by 8, and I'm going to get to my solution. My solution is going to be down here. 8 divided by 8 is 1, so I'm left with 1y on this side, and then negative 24 divided by 8 is negative 3. Okay, so I hope you can understand that sometimes you're going to have to combine like terms, right? And that's a very, very simple process. As long as you remember the signs, you know, you remember this is minus 2y, and you should be good to go. The third piece with this is perhaps there's some distribution before you even get a chance to combine like terms. So if you have a problem that looks like number 39, well, then you're in big, big trouble, right? So you're going to have to distribute first, and then you're going to have to combine like terms. Then you'll be into two-step equation mode, and everything will be great. So let me write out 39 the way you want to see it. And pardon my back, I'm just going to write it out. 5 times the quantity, negative 2x, minus 4. This is a subtraction symbol, but it means negative 3. All right, don't forget this negative when you distribute. 4x plus 5 equals 97. And I'm sorry I'm writing on top of this. Maybe I'll shut this down so I can do the work on it. And then you'll be able to see. I'll bring this up a little bit later, but I want to be able to show you that this is how this works. I'm going to multiply both pieces inside by 5, right? And so 5 times, I'm going to write it out, 5 times negative 2x minus 5 times 4. There are two ways to write this. I can either keep this as addition and keep this whole term as a negative 4, and I like that one better, or I can do it the way I just wrote it. I'd rather see it look like this, and then I'd rather keep this as a negative 3 and add. Why? Because I'm going to be distributing a negative 3 to both this, both the 4x and the 5. And so I'm going to multiply negative 3 times 4x, and I'm going to add to it negative 3 times 5. And that's going to equal 97. Now this is more work, right? You have to do a couple of extra steps to get to that two-step equation, and here we go. 5 times negative 2x is negative 10x. We're going to add to it 5 times negative 4, which is negative 20. We're going to add to it negative 3 times 4x is negative 12x. And then negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. If you have trouble with integers, I want you to think about every time you see a subtraction symbol, just circling the whole thing, and that's the whole term, right? It's the negative 4, and then put an addition symbol in front of it. Okay, that's the way to get past fighting integers when you're working. Now we have two sets of like terms. We have our coefficient x terms, and we have our constants, negative 20 and negative 15. And I'm going to highlight them, and I'm going to underline them in two different colors, because we want to understand that there are two different types of terms here. There's the x terms, and maybe I'll box them in with that color because I want you to box in the signs as well. And then I'm going to box in my constants, and apparently I'm not strong enough to open up this marker. And I'm going to box in my constants of negative 15 and negative 20. All right, so far so good. Well, if I put my greens together, negative 10 and negative 12 are negative 22x, right? And we're going to add to it negative 20 and negative 15, which is negative 35. Okay, and that we're going to make that equal to 97. Now we have a two-step equation that we can take care of pretty simply. And I'm going to rewrite it up here. Negative 22x plus negative 35 equals 97. Well, I have some addition here. I'm going to undo it with subtraction. But what I want you to think about as well is I just want you to add the opposite of what you see. If I subtract 35 from both sides, I've made a mistake, right? But if I add the opposite of negative 35 to both sides, I've undone that negative 35. So if I add a positive 35 to both sides, I've done my work. So I'm going to add 35. Okay. Well, what's this? That's a 2. Put a 1 up there. 132 is equal to negative 22. All right? And, pardon me, negative 22x. I know because I'm looking at it right now and I can see that I have a number that actually is divisible by 22. Let's see, it should be about 6, right? Yeah. So if I divide both sides by negative 22 to get my x to 1x, and then I divide this by negative 22, I end up with negative 6. All right? And that's really it. That's the end of it. No big deal. Other than that, I don't know what to tell you. It's arduous work. Sometimes it looks daunting. But really and truly, this problem-solving piece should be okay. If you have any questions, of course, send me a message and I'll get back to you.